I have a crochet video where I show you how to make this granny square with a heart in the center, and you can see that each of these granny squares look a little bit different. So this one, what I did here is after I worked the 2 rounds for the heart, when I did the 3rd round, I inserted the hook underneath both the front and back loop to work around the heart. And then this one, I worked in the back loops only when I worked the 3rd round. And for this one, I worked in the back horizontal bar when I worked the 3rd round for this one. So you can see that this one here, where I work underneath both loops, this heart looks okay, but then this one where I work in the back loops only, the heart is more defined, so it looks better than this one. And then this one, I think, looks the best. The heart is more defined. So you can see this one here, you can see the heart shape, but it's not quite as defined as this one or this one. This one here, where I work into both the front and back loop, you can see the heart shape starts to lose its shape a little bit. It's a little bit more rounded at the point of the heart. This is where I work in the back loops to work the 3rd round, and the heart shape is more defined than this one. This is how I showed you how to make this granny square in the video tutorial that I previously did, and that was to make it easy for a beginner to follow. But this one, it's a little bit more advanced because you have to work in the horizontal back bars. But once you learn how to find the horizontal back bars, it actually is worth it because you can see that this heart shape is much more defined than this one where I work in the back loops, or this one where I work underneath both loops. So I just wanted to show you how where you insert your hook to work this 3rd round can make a difference on the results that you'll get when you finish your granny square. So just to show you, when I worked this one, I worked underneath both the front and back loop of the stitch. So if you turn to the side, you can see the V stitches here. That's your front loop and that's your back loop. So I inserted it underneath both the front and back when I worked this 3rd round around the heart. For this one, like I did in the video tutorial, I insert my hook only underneath the back loop when I work the 3rd round of stitches. And that's how I got this look. And it looks just fine. You can definitely see the heart. But I wanted to show you another way, which I think looks best, because the heart shape is definitely more defined. So how I did that is I worked in the back horizontal bar. Let me show you where you can find the back horizontal bar of the stitches. So if you look at the top of your stitch, you can see the V stitch as your front and back loop. But if you turn your work to the back, then you can see you have this 3rd horizontal bar behind the front and back loop. So here's your front loop, your back loop, and there's that horizontal bar that's at the back. So when you work your stitches and you do your yarn over, that's how you get this 3rd horizontal bar. Those are created by your yarn overs. So just find your front and back loop of the stitch, just turn it a little bit, you'll find that 3rd loop right behind it. That is where I worked the 3rd round. So if you look here, you can see there's the front loop and the back loop. It's at the front of the work, where you only can see the front loops here, and I worked around the back loops here. So you can see the difference here. It's definitely more defined, and you can see both the front and back loop on the front of your work here. Then here at the center of the heart, I did a slip stitch. When you do a slip stitch, you don't do a yarn over, so you're not going to have a back horizontal bar. So what I did here is I just turned it to the back, and I just insert my hook along one of the stitches on the side. So you just find the stitch in the back, you know, either one of these, or just make sure that when you insert your hook that you just go underneath the loop in the back and not in the front of the work. So that's how I did it for the slip stitch. So all of the other stitches that have a yarn over, like the single crochets, the double crochets, the treble crochets, and the half double crochets, they all have that back loop, that back horizontal bar behind the front and back loop. So the slip stitch, you won't have a horizontal bar, but you just find a little stitch that you can grab with your hook to work your stitch. So that's all you do. You just find that tutorial that I have where I show you how to make this granny square with a heart, and then instead of working in the back loops only, you just work into those horizontal bars, and this is how it will look when you're done. So I just wanted to give you a quick tip today and show you that just by changing how you insert your hook, you'll end up with a different result for your granny square. And I just wanted to show you another way that you can make this granny square if you wanted to try working in the horizontal back bars instead of the back loops of the stitch. If you would like to see a full tutorial on how to make this granny square from start to finish working in the horizontal back bars instead of the back loop, I'll be more than happy to create a video that shows you how to do that. And I just wanted to show you that today in case you wanted to give that a try. It's really not that hard once you know where to find that horizontal bar. Once you recognize where that horizontal bar is, it really is easy to do this. And I think it's worth it because you really get a nice defined heart shape in the center of the granny square. So I hope you enjoyed this quick tutorial on another technique of how you can make this granny square. And I want to thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.